Happy Pay It Forward Friday. Welcome to another episode of Ask Cindy Connector Live. Well, hello. This is Cindy, your host over at Ask Cindy Connector Live. Make sure you go to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. So a little bit about the show. Ask Cindy Connector Live is a way for me to pay it forward to your business. I actually own a small business concierge here in Huntington Beach. So if you are a small business owner, I help with travel, follow up. I have gratitude gifts, and I also teach you how to podcast. And I'm also an ambassador for National Day Calendar. I celebrate every single day based on the National Day. So just hold on to this video.
Happy June 17th. So many reasons to celebrate. Make sure you download the National Day Calendar app. Celebrate every day.
Well, there we go. We have Chris on the show. First time. Thank you to Lee Love. Thank you for the referral. Appreciate that. And
Hi, Cindy.
we have Diane Devon. And so if you subscribe over at Ask Cindy Connector Live, you could also look up Chris's page on YouTube as well. And you come back to this video. We're going to do a drawing here on Monday at noon, and you're going to get an autographed copy of his book. So definitely make sure that you subscribe to our pages. Take it away.
That's the book, The Historic Postcards of Huntington Beach. I hope you win. It'll be signed.
Well, thank you for tuning in. And so let's kind of go a little backstory on who Chris is. What did you do before? Are you a local here in Huntington Beach your whole life, or kind of tell your story?
I was born and raised in New York, and I moved to the Huntington Beach area in 1999 from Los Angeles. So I'm not a local per se, but I've spent enough time in the city, I think, to appreciate it and to learn about it and to write about it and all kinds of other things. So I feel like a local sometimes, but just when I start to get that feeling, there are locals that will put me in my place and let me know I'm really not that. But I love the fact that there are real serious locals here that remember things vividly, that can help you fill in the blanks historically and culturally and remember how things were when they grew up. So it's always nice to become friendly with people who did grow up here, and they can share things to me, and then I can kind of take those and run with them a bit and hopefully, find out some other things that were going on. So it's, one part journalist, one part storyteller, one part photographer. I host a local TV show now called Hidden Huntington Beach. That's an extension of all these kinds of passions for history, whether it's where I live or traveling in the United States, whatever. I really have this bug for going and finding out about little known bits of history.
So let's talk about that. Can you name some of your hidden gems?
Well, I mean, around the country, there are thousands. I've written a lot of books about traveling the United States and finding little out of the way historic sites. I mean, Huntington Beach, some of my favorites are probably the former site of where the old Bolsa Chica Gun Club used to be. Now you can kind of see the ruins up there on the mesa at the wetlands. I love that. That's probably my favorite site to explore because there's still pieces of it up there. You can still find bits of sidewalk and things like that, which are fun. But I mean, throughout the city, you can find, still find pieces of railroad track and old rights of way where trains used to run. One episode, we covered a couple of historic grain silos that sort of take you back to Huntington Beach's agricultural history. So they're everywhere. I mean, there's a couple of places downtown where in the sidewalks embedded are the old horse hitching rings, the metal rings people would tie their horses up to before automobiles, going back to the early 1900s. So, there are a lot of sites in town, and we've covered a lot of them. I think there's a lot more to explore. So we're right now getting into planning out season 4, I think, which will be a lot of fun. And thankful that the city has been so supportive of this project. And, you think you know a place until you don't, until you're forced into finding. I used to go through this when I wrote a newspaper column for almost 10 years in Huntington Beach. And every week I was forced to go find some interesting story or a piece of history. And so when you've got a project like that or a TV show, it's great because you have to honor that each week or each month or whatever. It really does force you to go find something interesting. So it pushes you into places you might not normally go.
So what is number one on your bucket list here in the area, here in SoCal?
Something I haven't done?
Yes.
I mean, historically, if I had a historic bucket list thing to do, it would be to gain access into the World War II bunkers that have been sealed off in Huntington Beach. I think that would be amazing because I've heard so much about them, people who did go down there back when they were open, and I've researched and read so much about them. That would be incredible. It's a very hard thing to pull off. It's not for lack of trying, and I'm still trying, but that would probably be my number one thing to do from a local history standpoint. I mean, otherwise, I've had the good fortune to have done, locally in Orange County anyway, most of the things that, I think anybody wants to do, whether it's a great hike or kayaking in interesting places or Disneyland or whatever it happens to be. We always made the most out of appreciating Orange County and taking advantage of a lot of the things that it offers.
So what businesses would you like to mention that you believe would be a part of the Huntington Beach bucket list?
Well, I mean, Huntington Beach has a lot of great local businesses. They really do. Thinking back to doing the Hidden Huntington Beach show, there are certain businesses that we incorporated into episodes because their story was part of local history. For instance, Gustafson Motors in town. John Gustafson's parents ran the End Cafe on the pier and Alice's in the Park. And if you go to his auto repair place today, he's got some of the artifacts there from those places. So I love going to talk to John. John's a great local, been here a long time and tells great stories and is connected in meaningful ways to local history. So Gustafson Motors for sure. The Corner Bakery over on, is it 11th and Acacia, like over there. I love that place. Great family that runs it. Again, it's been there more than 100 years and factored into one of the episodes we did. So whenever we can, tell a historic story that still involves a business today, I love that because now more than ever, I think it's important to, again, find local businesses that do what you need them to do and support them. So those are two of my favorites. There are others as well that we've spoken to. I mean, they're not really businesses, but the two local actually the 4 local libraries, I think are all, merit visits because they've all got their own unique piece of history. The Longboard Restaurant on Main Street is the oldest building on Main Street. And so there's history. There's a plaque on the front when you walk in. So a number of places that we've had the good fortune of talking to the owners, hearing their stories and getting their insights into what makes their place historic.
Well, I'm going to name a couple businesses. Number one, Rock and Fig. As I told you earlier, I'm originally from Northern California, and he's just been so epic. And also with Lee Love and I with the Surf City Splash, he was a part of it for so many years.
Great guy. I got a good fortune to get to know Fig pretty well.
Exactly.
I interviewed him. I don't think it was 2 days before he passed away. I think it's probably the last interview he ever did. And I've got that footage, and someday, and it's great. I mean, you can see just Fig being Fig, showing off his shop, talking about the history of his shop. And, someday I want to create a special memorial using that footage and show it to people because he really was, as usual, just on fire that day. And of course, I think I speak for many when I say we miss him a great deal.
Yes, I want to mention 3 more. Tony Soriano, he was with the Huntington Beach Seal Beach Surf Rider. I'm a volunteer for them. He was just such a big part of Huntington Beach and our surf culture.
Yep.
Of course, Rocky McKinnon, my surf instructor, and Duke's Huntington Beach is all a part of Duke Kamanamoka. So that's who I'd like to plug today.
Very nice. All good.
So what else would you like to add to the show? We have about 10 minutes left.
Well, I think one of the really nice aspects for me after creating this Hidden Huntington Beach idea was it was 4th of July. I'm losing track of years. I guess it would have been 2020. That first year there was no parade. And I had taken a bike ride from home downtown And I'm on Coast Highway by Main Street, lamenting that there's no 4th of July parade. And the show had just started airing, I think, like a week before. And I pulled over, pulled my bike over, took my phone out, and I thought, you know what? Let me make a little Facebook group, just in case people are also missing the parade, want to talk some history as an extension of the show. So I create this group, Hidden Huntington Beach, and I get home maybe an hour later, and there's a couple of hundred people that have joined it through no help of mine. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought, well, people are home now. They're there it is. And as you can see today, there's more than 15,000 people in that group. And the group has been amazing. There are thousands of posts in there, not just by me, but by locals and other people that have spent a lot of time here sharing, the Frampton family, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, shared a bunch of home movies from the 1940s. When people do things like that, it's mind-blowing, not just for me, but I think a lot of the people in the group, because it's like finding treasure, to be able to see Huntington Beach in living color 70, 80 years ago is really incredible. And so that's been, for me, a really nice thing that helped me get through COVID and stay sane. And I think from what I hear anyway, a lot of other people as well that have this new community where they could enter, and it wasn't political, it was just really about sharing memories and learning about the city in a way. And I started, schools, teachers would reach out, and I'd go speak to classes, 3rd, 4th grade classes about local history. I started giving some walking tours to local students, grades and things. And it was amazing. I mean, it really, I think there's been a resurgence of an interest in local history because of the power of that group. And not a day goes by that someone doesn't write me and say, hey, we saw this episode, we took our kids to go see that secret park or those grain silos. And that for me is very rewarding because, you start with a little idea that gathers momentum, and through the strength and energy of other people. There's a local artist named Rick Blake, who's been a wonderful contributor. He's a great local historian himself, and he has added a lot of things. So, people kick things in, which is really great. Jordan Stevens, another local, has provided great drone footage, aerial footage, so we can sort of line up historical things. And so I've gotten to know a lot of people I wouldn't have known otherwise as a result of that group. And so the plan is just to keep it going. I have another life as an author, writing all kinds of books that are not related to Huntington Beach, but a part of my life is totally dedicated to this historic, Hidden Huntington Beach project, this historic program of finding things and locating things and telling stories. So I have no intention of stopping it. In fact, we're building upon it now. And so it's been a lot of fun, and the reaction has just been so much more than I would have expected. And it's been, again, a way for me to make the last 2 years a lot more easy and motivating and inspiring in terms of getting out and finding things.
So we have a comment from Diane. She wants to know about an HB museum. We do have the Surfers Museum. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow's International Surfing Day. So if you want to get a little piece of history, definitely go down there in downtown Huntington Beach and check out the museum.
Yeah, I appreciate Dan's question. Dan loves history as well. And she's interesting too, because she doesn't live in Huntington anymore, but used to. And we have a lot of people that moved, but still want to be connected. And thousands of people do that from all over the country. Some all over the world are part of the group. And in terms of museum, I've been, not shy, and have made no secret of the fact that part of my goal is to help establish. I love the surfing museum, but I still think there's a need for a city museum that would incorporate everything from oil to music to agriculture, everything. And so, I'm always thinking about that and talking to certain movers and shakers in the city about what that would look like and how it might happen. Within this group, I think we've created sort of an online museum for Huntington Beach. I mean, there are literally thousands of photos and stories and movies and things. So the elements are there, and my hope that someday, as we can find a proper location for it, hopefully a historic structure, that would befit a place like this. But I think I've traveled around the country a lot, and I've written about hundreds of museums all over
Wow.
the United States. And towns half the size of Huntington Beach have multiple museums, and they've all got history museums dedicated to city history. So I definitely think there's a need for it. I think the group has proven there's a hunger for it. And so as time goes on, it's definitely on my list. When you mentioned a bucket list earlier, well, another one would be spearheading the movement that would eventually result in the creation of a Huntington Beach City Museum.
Wow, I would love that. That would be really amazing.
It'll happen. I mean, I think there's a lot of momentum from other people. I also sit on the Orange County Historic Commission, and I've mentioned it at those meetings as well. And there's interest in it. Huntington Beach certainly warrants that kind of museum. And there are people, myself included, who've been collecting artifacts and things for years, that we keep them in storage and in garages and all that, warehouses. And all we're looking to do is find a permanent home for them. I don't necessarily need bricks and signs and things I've collected over the years. I want to park those permanently at a museum, a local museum. And so hopefully that'll happen in my lifetime and your lifetime and everyone's lifetime who's in that group.
I really enjoyed this video today, this interview. And if you would like, I would love for you to be on Bucket List Coach Web Show once a month and just share your love for Huntington Beach.
That'd be fun. Like I said, if you want to give away a book, the historic postcards of Huntington Beach is one I'm very proud of. I'm happy to sign it. And whatever mechanism you use to give it away, I can get it to you and you can give it to one of your viewers.
That's amazing. So let's do a recap. We have a few minutes left. And so what businesses did you plug today?
I hadn't really thought about that. Let me think. Because I always feel weird because I don't want to leave a business out. And again, I have a lot of friends that run great businesses in town. I mean, Moe's Eyeglass Shop on Main Street jumps out. The Sugar Shack jumps out. The Longboard jumps out. I mean, there are a lot of terrific places. I mentioned Corner Market jumps out. But there are a lot of places that I like a lot that are certainly worthy of, like I said, I think, if you haven't, explore and research local businesses before you head out of town. I mean, it's something I think every local should take some time and do. And think about what you're looking for and read the forums and post questions and educate yourself, because there's a lot here you may not know. But Huntington Beach is a very big city, and sometimes it feels like more than one city. You've got the one end down by the harbor, then you got southeast, you have downtown, you have all these areas. And whenever I drive around the city, I'm always struck by it's like, wow, here's a little community I don't know that much about. There's a Chinese restaurant I never would have gone to, So I think it's fun to wander the city a little bit more and get out of your own little comfort zone. It's a good sized city.
I want to do some additional plugs. Of course, again, Lee Love Surf City Splash happens January 1st every single year, and I'm actually the raffle liaison for that. So I'll be getting in touch with everybody probably around October or late September. Tomorrow, International Surfing Day. We have a beach cleanup with the Huntington Seal Beach chapter. Also, down in Encinitas is Bro-Am, and it's amazing. If you are a surfer, and especially if you're a big fan of Rob Machado and Switchfoot, you definitely need to add that to your bucket list. And of course, make sure you go to hsbsurfrider.com for anything Surfrider. Anything else before we close out?
No, Cindy, thank you very much for having me on. It's always fun to talk about Huntington Beach, especially the history of it. I'm very passionate about it. I love the city. I love the people. And, I just want to thank everybody for following along on this journey and helping me out to find, great little known stories about the city.
So it's always important. I talk about it every single day to add aloha to people's lives and to pay it forward. So on Pay It Forward Friday, what are you going to do today and this weekend to make a difference in someone's life and add a little smile and aloha to their face?
Well, I'll probably, I give a writing workshop that I've done for years, and I've had some great classes. I just started a new one right now, and I was thinking of something I can write them tomorrow to give them a little extra push, a little more confidence, and a little more focus on what they're doing. So today I spent kind of crafting a special email to them, let them know I'm thinking about them before next week's class, and have given them, again, just what I think is hopefully some good new insight into their writing.
subscribe and comment at Bucket List Coach Web Show Live, and also Chris, EPTING. So we are heading out. We're going out to an amazing weekend. And remember, tomorrow is International Surfing Day. It is also Go Fishing Day. And of course, appreciate all the fathers in your life for Friday. Any last networking tip?
No, just for Father's Day, shout out to all the dads out there, and especially to my 2 kids, Claire and Charles, being the 2 best kids in the world, as I'm sure you all consider your children as well. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to pop you in the green room and we'll chat for a few after. It looks like we have one comment. Hold on one second. And it is Diane, and she says, thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Diane's great.
Okay, I'm going to pop you in the green room, and I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
So make sure that you practice random acts of kindness, not just on Friday, but every single day. And of course, if you live here in Huntington Beach and you want to give back, the Huntington Beach Seal Beach, amazing beach cleanup with Rip Curl, 8 to 12 tomorrow. And also, as I mentioned earlier, it's National Go Fishing Day, and celebrate the father in your life. Aloha, baby. We'll see you on the next show. Shaka.